Well, hello everyone. I am Ashley Stardust Unicorn, and I am here with my beloved soul sister, Hallelujah, Anasuya, and we're having a conversation about what is currently going on in her life because we love her, and inquiring minds and loving hearts want to know. So, my beloved sister, what's going
Hey.
on with you?
Ooh. Well, thank you for bringing your inquiring mind and loving heart to this soul circle of love. I really appreciate this conversation. We don't get to see each other very much, so I do have to catch you up on a few things. And so my spirits are doing well, but my body is not doing so hot.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess it's good that it's not cold either. Be in the morgue.
Oh, gosh.
So I'll take warm.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Um, so yeah, my spirits are good, and I actually, for the first time in 4 years, feel hopeful about the future. And why 4 years ago? That is when I had my near fatal car accident. Well, it actually was fatal. I did die. I was down for quote unquote dead for 13 minutes, and I was brought back. But when I came back, I was not at the location of the accident. I was in the hospital, and it was the next day. Hmm. So something about driving off the road, flipping the car 3 times going as it rolled downhill kind of jacked me up a little bit. So brain injury, joint injuries, bone injuries, breaks, splinters, fractures, all kinds of sexy things. And, I always thought that it would take way less time than it has to heal because everyone said, oh, these are simple things. It'll be done in no time. Well, 4 years later, they're still finding new things that are were caused by the accident that I guess needed time to gestate and bubble up to the surface, or they're finally looking in the right places. I'm not sure what it is, but I thought I was kind of quote unquote done last year, and no, this year I have 3 more surgeries coming up and possibly four, and I don't know if my body can handle. No, I'm sorry, 3 more to go. I already had one in February. Huh, so it is four this year. So it might be a fifth one, but I think I'm going to let four be enough. And so, my life is quite different than it was before 4 years ago, before I got to California. And even though I wasn't coming to California, I wasn't moving to California, I was going through California on my way to the airport. The good Lord saw, and his sweet, beautiful wife, Mother God, they said I needed some time in California. So I live here because all of my doctors are here and I see quite a few specialists and they're all here. So I'm not leaving until I get clearance from everybody. So that's my situation now. So between my knee being knee and kneecap need to be totally um, replaced because I have 1/4 of a kneecap after the accident. Um, I see. I already had my left leg done. I already had some work on it. I had uh, several veins in my leg, same leg that needs to be replaced, would need replaced. Four of my veins were not working properly, and the cardiovascular surgeon said, "Oh, they're just think of it as broken veins." And I said, "Oh my goodness!" But what they were actually doing is what they call reflux. So they were going up. They're the ones that go up from my ankle, up my inner thigh, and up to the heart. And instead of doing that, when they got reached to the knee, they would do a racetrack and go back down. And they were looping. And so I wasn't getting as much oxygen or blood as I needed and couldn't figure out why it felt like sometimes I was having a heart attack. Well, now I know. So those were repaired in February. And so I don't know if my knee will be replaced first um, or the tumor that I have on my adrenal gland, right adrenal gland, might come first. We'll find out. But a tentative date for the knee is in June. And we'll see when I go see the surgeon tomorrow what the date is for my adrenal tumor. And then after that, I have a torn uh, tendon in my rotator cuff on the right side. So the right side is going through it.
Mm, sounds
Oh
like.
my goodness. And so that surgery was going to be on April 15th, but because I use a walker, I can't use the cane anymore because I'm using a walker and really rely on both my arm and upper strength to hold me when my knee buckles or when it gives out completely and I'm about to fall. The walker's been holding, steadying me up. And because of that, Grace, um, I can't have my arm in a sling for 6 weeks taped to me in isolation because once you have that shoulder surgery, you're not supposed to move your arm for any reason. So I can't use the walker. So I had to switch the dates. So instead of the arm, shoulder going first, and then the knee is going first, unless the adrenal goes first. I should say goes first between that and the shoulder.
Sure.
So it's an exciting year. And, here I am still at the hospital. I just finished meeting with my endocrinologist about um, not only the upcoming surgery, but some other endocrinological finds that we have because your endocrine system governs your hormones. And well, something's off there too. So we're still testing and eliminating. So I'll be back here in 2 months after some new tests are taken. And so um, it just keeps rolling.
Wow, that's a lot to be carrying all at once.
Mm. Oh, and did I forget my brain?
Yes, you tell us about your brain, beloved.
Oh my goodness. Well, as I said, I had uh, uh, sorry, part of this brain injury is sometimes there's gap in my speech, and sometimes I lose words, or sometimes I lose the ability to say the words. I'm thinking them, but my mouth doesn't articulate them. So this part, just bear with me. The words will come. Okay, so the traumatic brain injury affected this side of my brain because it went through the windshield, and that was not fun. But luckily, I don't remember any of that. And so one of the effects of that is uh, scrambling. So letters and numbers are now very scrambled. So it has produced a great sense of dyslexia right now, um, especially when I'm writing letters reverse and if I'm typing. Those letters, I don't know what I think I'm doing. And I know in my head I'm saying them exactly the way I'm supposed to, but what comes out on the paper is craziness. So, and it's really humbling to have to check anything I say, even if it's a text to a friend, I have to check it 2 and 3 times because it's the spelling won't be right or something will be wrong or words will be thought but not actually typed. And it's humbling because one of the things I was really good at before was editing. Um, and so, and editing not only what I text to people, but my writing, other people's writing. I love editing, and because I love storytelling. So anything to help get a story to be crystal clear and concise and have the emotional depth and the depth of character that the story needs, I'm all for. And so I like that kind of editing, but not the kind of editing I have to do now. It was very humbling, and I think now that I'm have enough distance from the situation, I can really see how much I've been resisting, um, fully grasping how severe everything has been. Um, because it's been some seriously hard times these last 4 years, and I just keep brushing them under the rug and just keep on keeping on, and like no use in crying about it, just keep on. And that has helped me kind of stay sane, but it also has not helped me really understand, um, well, no other way to say just how bad off things are, have been, and how severe the problems have been. Because, my neurologist sat with me for 6 months after the accident and did every test and took every in MRI and CAT scan and all those things. And then when he couldn't find any more things to play with, he said, "Oh, you're fine. Your brain's just going to take a while to heal because Your brain is slow, and you don't have to worry about anything. And that probably was true at that moment. But somewhere in there should have been come back in 6 months or come back in a year and let's see what's developed. Because you know what? Because he didn't say that, and because I was believed him or wanted to believe him that nothing's going on in my head, I didn't really pay attention to all the symptoms and red flags that were going on in my head, like connecting it to my trouble with speech, connecting it to my writing and numbers and letters being all mixed up. I didn't connect it to uh, well, the Bell's palsy, I knew that was from that, but the migraines I've been having, the light sensitivity I've been having, um, uh, not being able to spend a lot of time on screens of any kind, which has upset a lot of people because I don't respond as quickly to their texts or emails, and I literally can't handle it. It's too much for my head. And so people are upset about that. I do get back to people when I check the phone, but I was advised to check it 2 or 3 times a day. Okay, up to five, but no, not more. And I have a 30-minute limit at a session. And sometimes I can make the 30, and sometimes it gets too intense and I can't do it. And so then I miss emails and texts because it has to wait till the next round of checking in. Yeah. And then this brain injury I'm learning has not only that, it causes um, a lot of frustration because things are not as easy as they used to be. And the frustration leads to depression. And, you know, in 22, I was highly, had quite a few suicidal ideations. And then it started to come down, but it came back again in 23. And we found out that has to do with the brain injury because of the wires don't work and my synapses are not talking to each other and the things are not firing and I don't recognize me. In so many ways, I'm not me, or at least the me I used to be. I'm definitely not the me I used to be. And it's taken a lot to overcome this resistance to accept, and that's a fact. I don't walk the same. I don't talk the same. My whole muscular skeletal system is not the same. My brain's not the same, and things I can do with grace and ease are not the same. The things I do with struggle, those are not the same. So, you know, I couldn't understand why I was considering suicide when I already got saved. My life got saved. I was brought back from the dead. And so in my mind, I don't think I want to die. But being in this body has been really hard, and not really wanting to be in this body. Ooh, want to protect their privacy. Not wanting to be in my body has been really hard, and all the pain I'm physically experiencing in this body has just been enough to say, you know what, I thought I wanted to be here. I thought I wanted to tough it out. Actually, this is too much.
Yeah.
But luckily, my therapist helped me to find um, ways to deal with this chemical imbalance that has developed since the accident. Um, and it has calmed it down a lot. Like I haven't had one suicidal ideation since then. And it's helped with anxiety, which is also something that's really intense. So it just mellows it. The anxiety is not gone, but it just mellows it so it's not to this point where I have to make me want to eat cookies or cake or chocolate. But luckily not slit my wrist. So that's really great.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for just discovering that there's a source to these things. There really is a source. And some of it is musculoskeletal that affects my brain and energy levels. A lot of my energy problems, exhaustion, sleeplessness is caused by the tumor in my adrenal. So didn't know that. I didn't know why I was tired all the time. Why sleeping 8 hours was never enough. If I slept 2 hours or 10 hours, it nothing worked. And that's because the adrenal is like not working at full capacity. It's very diminished. The tumor is quite large. I just looked at it on the CAT scan. I was like, oh, like this big. And they're like, that has to go. And I'm like, I agree. So I'm meeting with the endocrine surgeon tomorrow to see what's the next step. But she said, more than likely, you're just going to get a date tomorrow because they don't play around with these things when it's that large. So I'm like, oh, good news, I suppose. If it anything that gets me to be able to sleep again and oh, so sorry. Um, to have energy during the day, to not have to use artificial stimulants like coffees and things, I want it. So if it helps me with that, yes, please. Yes, please. To clear up the brain fog, yes, please, because that's also from the injury. And apparently that's also from uh, the adrenal gone bad. They both contribute to these um, uh, cognitive issues. So I see the neurologist. I can't, all of these appointments take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, ladies and gentlemen. So everything I've been going through, a lot of it's taking so many years is because it's not simple to get appointments with specialists. So I've
Yes.
been waiting to meet this surgeon tomorrow. I've been waiting since December. I've been waiting since January to see my neurologist, uh, a different one, a new one, hallelujah one, in May. And I'm just praying for cancellations
Yes.
because I don't want to wait till May. My brain hurts. And I mean, literally, my brain hurts. And I can feel um, something's growing here, something here. My skull is a different shape there than it has been. So it wasn't something that happened was there immediately after the accident. Something's been growing and now it's noticeable. It's putting a lot of pressure on my eye. It's putting a lot of pressure here and here. So I'd like to get to the bottom of that. So yeah, it's quite a few things that still need to be addressed.
What else?
But I'm alive. I'm alive. Well, what else?
No,
Well,
no, I was being
finances.
facetious.
Wait, there's more.
Okay. Continue.
Not medical. The challenge has just been working because on the days when I have great energy, I do as much as I can editing people's work. I when my energy is really good, my coaching clients are really happy. But they're getting few far and far apart as all these things keep increasingly getting more severe as time goes on and they haven't been dealt with. So it's getting harder and harder to generate income as a freelance person who leads workshops, who paints with people, who teaches people to paint, who coaches people on their healing journey, healing from trauma, mainly, and using art to be that catalyst for both restoration of self and sense of purpose and sense of life, as well as to reconnect with joy again. Because I know as a trauma patient myself and someone with complex PTSD, joy is hard to tap into. Joy is hard to feel, which is why suicide is always like quacking because it's like life without joy just sucks. Just it's too much, really. Um, so the art brings me back my joy, and sharing that with other people who are doing trauma work is such a gift. And I really want to be able to get back to being of service with my gifts and talents the way I was before the accident. And one of the things I have been able to do while I'm in this in between space is get training to be certified to be a creation, creative conflict resolution workshop facilitator. And I'm telling you,
Wonderful. You'd be amazing.
offering, offering conflict resolution training and what they call it out now is with the organization that I work with is conflict transformation because sometimes it can't get resolved. Sometimes you can't bring people back to life. Certain things can't be resolved, but we can transform how we see them. We can transform how we're feeling about them. We can transform how it lives in our body. We can transform it from sometimes victim consciousness. We can do a lot of transformation. Some things can't be resolved, but we can transform everything. And I love that. And, you know, with the amount of school shootings we have, with the amount of trauma that people are going through in family dynamics, with spouses or mates, um, with health, there's so many traumas. I'm so grateful that I'll be able to offer this to people. Um, in groups, and soon one-on-one, and in prisons, and with, like trauma's all around. But being able to go into prisons as well and have people who have been rehabilitated quite enough that they understood why they were there. They take full responsibility. They're not angry anymore. Like they have to reach a certain threshold before they can have this training. Otherwise, it just goes out the window. And so to be with people who are so hungry to know how to handle their emotions, whether it's meditation, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's art therapy or theater, like they're just hungry for ways to be in their bodies and see themselves newly, and not as the world might have classified them, not as their families or communities did, which led to why they got in there. They're so hungry to know themselves newly and to honor that transformation. And it's just wonderful to see that and to be a part of that. And the first thing I tell them when I get in there is like, you and I are not different. It's just my cell bars are invisible. Yours are visible. But, in so many ways, we as humans, and I'll just speak for myself, we keep ourselves in prison with our limiting beliefs, with our belief system that says we're no good or gives all the reasons why we're not. We keep ourselves in prisons when we don't go for things that we could because we are afraid. We have fear. We don't want rejection. So many ways we keep ourselves in gilded cages. And some people's cages are not even gilded. Some of them are just small and tiny and suffocating. And so, when they hear me say that, they're like, oh, I can get that. Yeah, because you can be in prison and feel free. You can be free and feel in prison. It's just both, they're both true. But yeah, I'm looking forward to being more active and be able to do more things with as I get more of these things ticked off. So, the main thing that I need support with is finances, filling in the gaps because I have discovered now that I'm getting to the point of really understanding what's underneath and what's underneath and what's underneath, what's going on. I'm able to see acupuncturists and certain shiatsu massage therapists and able to see all kinds of therapists and do uh, liver, kidney, spleen cleanses because all these things make a difference to supporting Western medicine. I need allopathic, I need homeopathic, I need osteopathic services to balance out Western medicine, which tends to be very pharmaceutical, cut driven. And I want to help my body do what it knows how to do. Our bodies know how to heal themselves. But I have been relying too much on Western medicine, and I think that's also why things are taking on too long. So I'm not dropping Western medicine. I just want to add things that also support my organs to return to functioning. And those are the things that are not covered by my insurance. Those are the things that my insurance says, not, no. So this is the support I'm talking about, just to help get those funds um, that would help me do more for myself so I can be an active part of my healing and be active part in speeding it up. Oh, like, let's go. 4 years has been enough. At
Yeah,
least I think so. I think my body says it's been
right.
a long time, baby. So yeah.
So, in addition to your health, what other type of expenses do you need covered?
Ah, thank you. Because one of the things that I learned from this brain injury is that short-term memory is scrambled or
Yes.
not there. It's been slowly coming back. It's expanding. The short is getting less short, but it's not gone. Um, so thank you for this reminder. I needed it. So,
I got you, girl.
one of the things, in addition to being able to access holistic medicine, is living expenses. I'm in one of the most expensive states, and I'm in one of the most specific areas of the state. And I'm very blessed to have found living accommodations that are reasonable. And, I've been very blessed to be able to find fruits and veg at a market that are really affordable. I've been very blessed to be able to take public transport when I'm able to move. So, I keep my living expenses pretty low, um, but they're not zero, and I applied it, really dealing with disability and not having disability check money that would fill some gaps. You know, things cost money. Some places I cannot get to on the bus or the BART, so I have to take Uber. Well, those things ain't cheap. And you have a thing called rent and bills, and I have my storage unit to pay uh, because all my stuff from that I bought in the car accident. Plus things I had to get like beds and furniture are in storage because the place I was able to afford was already furnished. So I have to maintain that because I don't want to lose my things when it's time for me to go to my own place. And of course I would like my own place, you know, um, and that's an expense I don't have the money for at this moment. Um, and if if a car is possible, then I mean owning it, not drive. I drive fine. Then the ability to take care of the insurance, which is more, more than the gas. Oh, anyway. So just living expenses, being able to do some nice things for myself. I take myself to the beach, um, which I'm surrounded by the bay and the ocean's just beyond that. But getting there without a car is very complicated. And those are the things that lift my spirits. Those are the things that make my soul so happy to be able to go see a theater show or a poetry reading. I found the days that the museums are free, so I go to them. Go a lot of museums and they're free. Me and the Walker, we see a lot of things. But there's other things that they don't have free days, like theater.
Sure.
I like to do. So there's things that will uplift my spirits and be good for my mind and help me nurture joy again because that's been severely missing is joy. Gratitude's been there, but joy no. So living expenses and also what's heavy on my heart right now is that my mother is not well, and she's in a rehab facility because she fractured her. I got that bone, the name of it that goes between knee and hip, and it's a very long healing process. And she's asking me all the time to come see her, and she's across the country. She's on the East Coast, and I'm on the West Coast, and I need flight money. I would need flight money and money for an Airbnb so that I can cook for myself and not have to have expenses of, eating out all the time. Because she's in a rehab facility, she's not home. She's in a skilled nursing home, so her home is not. It's her home to her, but it's not any place we grew up. And so going to her place is not possible. So being able to go and see her for at least a week and be able to pay for my time there and buy groceries so I can cook, the little things and pay for the Uber to get from there to the hospital and hospital back. These are things that I really like to do because I really want to see my mother just in case this last trauma is like the last straw for her body, 'cause all the doctors call her, besides the bionic woman, they call her the woman who has 10 lives, because she beat the cat. They don't know how she has survived all the things she's gone through. But I can't keep hoping or wishing that it's going to keep happening. One day, it's going to be too much. And with her growing, well, there's other things going on with her health that could contribute to shortening her time here. So, I really want to go see her um, again and be with her and to comfort her and hug her and just, he's touch deprived, and I know about that. But just to fill up her well one more time. I haven't seen her since last August, and that was the first time I'd seen her since the accident. 'Cause I wasn't allowed to leave the state. I wasn't able to leave the area because all of my medical things I have to be able to get to my doctors quickly. So I was really grateful that after 3 years I got to see her, which was last August. And so I'm hoping to get there before August, but at least by August to see her again. And so, yeah, those are two things that I forgot that are really important. So thanks for asking.
Of course.
And what would be like a dream come true
Tell me.
is to really go on a Black Madonna pilgrimage again because I was on my way to the airport. And the reason why I said that is because when I had the car accident, I was driving from Arizona to the airport, LAX airport, not LAX, San Francisco airport. And I crashed in the desert in between. And I was on my way to uh, do trauma healing workshop for people who were uh, have been traumatized by a lot of the um, racism that's been increasing in America, the threat to people's lives in America, our rights diminishing, which started back then in 21. Oh, actually started in 2020. Um, and so people were leaving to go on retreats to like heal their bodies and relax their nervous systems and recalibrate. And so I was invited to a retreat center to lead these trauma workshops with theater and with visual art for people who needed it, including me. And so, and I was also going to be there and visit the two Black Madonna sites that are there. So it's going to be a combination of service and doing my passion work of documenting and writing about Black Madonnas. And that trip didn't happen. And that's how I got to California. I had no intentions of living here or being here. They stopped. Let me do it right now. So, so I missed that part of me. I had never intended on living in California. I wasn't coming here. I was driving with my few belongings to go to Morocco. And so I had been invited by one of my really good friends. Um, and if you hear any noise, that's because I am in a waiting room at the hospital. So that's just part of it. Um, I had been invited by a really good friend of mine in France to come celebrate her birthday at the end of August and celebrate the Feast of the Magdalene um, and go on a pilgrimage site to uh, two sites in France, two in Spain, and two in Portugal. And I'm like, man, if I get to go on that trip this summer, it really would be a sign from God that I'm healed enough to go, and that this 4 year journey is coming to an end. It will be like a beautiful full circle moment. And um, yeah, like I definitely will be doing all I can to raise money for that as well. And that's my motivation to push through this pain. That's like a great motivator for me to like deal with all of these physical challenges because there's a happy ending waiting for me. And one of the reasons I haven't really been pushing as much because I didn't see a happy ending. I didn't see that it could get better. It just felt like same stuff, different day. And that was leading to a lot of my depression as well.
Of
But
course.
this year is the first year I feel like the end is in sight. Doesn't mean I won't be have another surgery next year, but the end is in sight, and most of the things will be resolved, and therefore I'll be transformed, and that I'm able to do what I haven't been able to do in 4 years. So yes,
Crossing fingers.
yes for that.
Yeah.
A dream, motivation. That's also would be great to have a little kitty for that. And she found all of these really inexpensive flights to France. And when you're on the URL, that's inexpensive to travel inside of Europe. Um, and the flights that she organized are cheaper than the ones I'm going to need to go to my mother. I'm like, are you kidding me? But hey, she knows how to negotiate. It's like, can you organize my flights to see my mother? Since you know how to do that. So we'll
Yes.
see. She might be able to work on some magic for that too. So thanks for asking.
Of course. What would you say your life was like before you had the accident?
I could travel. I could walk up hills. I could go to, as someone who uh, teaches and gives workshops about uh, Black Madonnas and their holy pilgrimage sites around the world, but particularly in Europe. And as someone who does a lot of talks and goes and has been on a lot of panels about the divine feminine, specifically dark divine feminine, I'd like to be able to do those again. And pilgrimage sites, when you go to them, because it's old Europe and there was a time when there were great wars and people were conquering other people, a lot of these sacred icons are either high up in mountains, so they're hard to reach, or down in crypts, or down below. Either way, there are no elevators. Wait, there's no help to get to them. You have to walk 1,000 steps up or 500 down, and this body can't do it. Um, Not much of it can do it, but specifically my knee won't, darn it. So I'd like to be able to take people on tours again. I'd like to be able, I mean, for the first time I've been on tours, I'd like to take other people on tours to my favorite sites and also to discover new sites. And, I'd like to run a retreat center for people, and that takes a lot of energy and focus and clarity, as well as, you know, body healing to offer healing. And so that's what I was doing before. I wasn't doing retreats at a different location, but I was doing work and week workshops. And one time I did a week long, which was a retreat, and that was a lot of fun. Um, and I did those in South Africa, so that was really beautiful. Working with people impacted by HIV and AIDS. I love it. So I miss traveling. I miss doing the work with refugees. Like I work with the Syrian refugees when they just got to Germany. I work with a lot of the uh, African migrants that were crossing the ocean, the Mediterranean from Africa to Italy, because that's the first place they land up is in Italy, and quite a few are those that land up on the shores are corpse, but those that survive the traumatic crossing, they need a lot of help because if they're taking the chance of risking their lives, they are running from something, either poverty, hunger, or war. Nobody leaves their home and risk their lives to that point if they weren't thinking what's on the other side has got to be better than this. And
Yeah.
so I was able to do some art workshops with them. Quite a few of them are French speaking, so and the Italians were not. So I worked mostly with them. There were others who did with the English speakers, but I worked with the French speakers because the Italians didn't speak French. And I'm like, well, I got you. So that was really a great gift to be able to do with that. And I was dealing with conflict resolution um, through Theater of the Oppressed in Kenya when they were having the wars between the different um, tribes over elections. So, I've been in some really great places to be able to make a difference. And I want to be able to do that again. I want to be able to go back into the schools here and offer workshops and teach teachers how to do it ongoingly so they don't have to bring me in. I would like to do more uh, work with community centers that are reaching kids that, are able to come. So, yeah, that's what my life was before. And I want more of that and to expand. So, yeah, just thinking about it, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's for the first time I actually feel that's possible. No time before this last few months have I felt like this actually has an end date. This actually really is going to get better.
That's
So
wonderful.
I'm excited.
Um, I just have to say that you are one of the most amazing humans I've ever known in my life. And your light shines so brightly that from the moment we met, it was like, sister.
I
And
know
I
it
love
really
playing
was.
with you and smiling and laughing. And also, the more that when I was researching um, you, I found countless videos, just your outpouring of love and what you have given to the world and me personally, and everybody who's comes in contact with your light is just blessed. And I can imagine that going through what you've gone through, that the in addition to all of those, the grief of mourning who you were, it has been very uh, heavy. And I'm just in awe of your perseverance, and that you, even in the midst of all this, that you reach out to people and you take time, even moments where you can speak and share your light and divine love that is flowing through you. And I just wish you the best in every way. And thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. And um, I hope that everyone, if they have an opportunity to help support you on your journey, that they do so. Um, is there anything else that you would like to say
Well,
before?
just to say, if they can support me, if they are able, $1, $5, $10, it doesn't have to be a large amount. They can do so through the GoFundMe that has been set up by my beautiful friend Stardust Unicorn. And so we'll put this video on the GoFundMe page so it'll be easy to watch as well. So thank you. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this conversation. Most importantly, thank you for loving me through all the roller coaster rides I've been on. It's been many. So
Is
with
absolutely.
that, I'll say
I love you so much.
I love you too and thank you.
Catch you later. Bye for now.